Hola.
Hi, friends.
What other Spanish do I know?
¿Cómo
Una cerveza, por favor.
¿Dónde está el baño?
Bitty bitty bum bum.
Welcome back to another week of the Wanderers of Weird podcast.
Yeah.
For this week, I tried to give y'all some shit for free, but I was told I can't do that because that's paid content.
Yeah, that would be paid content.
Find
us on Patreon in the next 5 to 10 years.
I wanted to fart in the microphone just for you guys, but my co-host here told me no, thank you.
Yeah, no. I would like to start a Patreon one day. I think that would be fun.
Girl, we just said we ain't got time for side quests.
I know, but I think, if we, I don't know, I would have to, plan my dream of what I would hope that our Patreon would be.
Stupid shit is all it would be.
Because I don't know that it would be, extra, maybe, bonus mini episodes that we could, fit into existing recording sessions and not have to do a lot of work on. But...
and then anytime that we get together where
video, photo, that kind of stuff. Maybe I would love to do blog posts on a Patreon.
Anytime that we get together that it's not technically business stuff where it's just us doing
short mort
stuff.
Mini vlogs or something. I don't know how to edit a video, but I would figure it out.
One day when we start getting paid, we can when we went to Louisville.
Yeah.
If we're recording anything while we're there, that's a tax write-off.
Yes, technically, yeah.
And our podcast dinner, tax write-offs.
Well, percentage, not the full thing.
Well,
but
that dinner tonight
that was really good. All right. We have a long evening ahead of us, and there's no Love Island tonight, so I thought there was. So, because I forget Saturday, I feel like Saturdays would pop off, but I'm glad that it's a break. So
it's literally every night except for Wednesdays
and Saturdays, yeah. And they
That's too much.
They record a day ahead.
That's too much.
I'm planning my life around this.
That's too.
I'm planning my excursions.
How long does this run?
It's for the summer, so I think it ends at the end of July, I believe.
I can't commit my life to something like that.
It's the closest to real time without being Big Brother.
This is where I miss TiVo.
So it's these whatever's happening at the villa right now, we'll see probably Monday. So hopefully nobody's fighting. Hopefully the girls aren't fighting. Because they were ready to fight. It was rough. And it's all because of I'm TT. Bye, TT. We give you all the bling like a booger off this island. Anyway, we're continuing our Spooky State series, and we are heading on into North Dakota. I don't know anything about North Dakota other than it's the Dakota that is to the north. That is pretty much it.
I know someone that lives there. I don't think she listens, but it's somebody that I met through Fortnite.
Nice.
I don't play with her much anymore either.
Hi,
Hi, Megan. Megan says she feels like a celebrity every time that we mention her on the podcast.
Well, I love that, honestly. All right, I'm going to jump right on in, and I'm going to start with, first and foremost, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way for this location, because this location is now permanently closed, and the former director of 23 years, Yvette Nassette, said that it was a casualty of COVID, and the budget was thin prior to COVID, and it only got worse afterwards, and the building needed maintenance that they could not afford. I think their air conditioning unit had gone out and needed to be replaced, and it was going to be $15,000 or something like that, or more, and they simply just could not afford it.
Can we take a pause and let me just tell you something that I just remembered?
Sure.
Talking about COVID triggered it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're shutting down CERN. You know, the what is it? CERN is it's an antimatter facility type thing. It's a large hadron collider. Um, look it up. It's a government thing.
Oh, okay.
But the last time they're shutting it down like next week for a while for upgrades.
Oh, okay.
The last time that it was shut down, COVID happened.
Oh. Oh no.
So brace thyselves, everyone.
Anyway. The Children's Museum at Yunker Farm was founded in 1985 and opened in 1989 with the objective of providing a place for children to play and learn with over 50 interactive attractions, including a merry-go-round, a butterfly garden, a planetarium, a puppet theater, and a children's railroad. I would imagine that this would be very expensive to upkeep. The museum was housed in a farmhouse that was originally built in 1876 at Yunker Farm and was built for the Whitman family, who had 8 children. It was sold later to the Yunkers, and they loved children. I don't know that they had children of their own, but they took in foster children, adopted children, and brought in other children and their families who were low income. And there were rumors that some of the children met tragic accidents at the Yunker farm. There is a well on the property, and it is said that one of the children fell into it and drowned. Visitors have reported that when they would stand by the well, they would feel a shortness of breath, and others reported seeing a small child-sized figure standing nearby the well. There have also been said to be sightings of Elizabeth Yunker in some of the upstairs rooms of the museum. There have been claims of doors and windows that will open and close on their own. And there are also reports of incidents with the elevator. And riders would say that sometimes a button would be pushed by, quote, unseen hands, which would cause it to go up and down on its own.
Dang.
I think that's what happened at the hotel when I said that the alarm went off. I think because on the main level, it's the only floor that has it. There's an emergency button that is right above the button to go up, and there's only the one button to go up. There's no down.
Yeah.
I think somebody might have pressed it, and that's what triggered that alarm. All right. We don't typically see modern hospitals on these lists, but buildings age, and over time there are more and more stories that come out about paranormal activity. This shouldn't be all that surprising, since more than half of the deaths that occur in the U.S. do occur in hospitals. St. Joseph's Hospital was established in 1912 by a good-hearted and wealthy Samaritan in Dickinson, North Dakota, after residents in the area realized the need for a centralized hospital around 1910, and they approached a local holy man, Bishop Vincent Worrell, with this request. $20,000 was raised by private donations, and the bishop agreed to finance the remaining with a loan of $70,000. The bishop then traveled to Rome to find Sisters of the Cloth that were ready to assist with staffing the hospital. He found the Sisters of Mercy of the Holy Cross in Switzerland and convinced them to move to the plains of North Dakota as well. Over the following 110 years, additions were made to the facility with more wings and beds added to the original 40-bed hospital. In 2012, it became evident that the aging buildings were in need of modern upgrades in order to maintain the level of care they had been providing to patients. They broke ground on a new hospital site, and the St. Joseph staff would move to their new home under its Chi St. Joseph's Health, or CHI, maybe. The original buildings remain and are not abandoned, but are not as lively as they once were. In 2019, the old site was purchased with the intent of breathing new life into it as a behavioral health center. But I don't know what that was. That sounded like a drum tap or something. Like a boom. I don't know. In this house, I generally don't ask questions. But I wasn't able to find if that behavioral health center ever came to fruition. I'm not real sure because under the umbrella of that hospital system are a lot of things. Paranormal activity has been reported at St. Joseph's long before the facility was moved. Both staff and patients reported that the elevator would occasionally seem to operate all on its own and would descend to the morgue without anyone requesting that it do so. Doors throughout the facility would swing themselves closed with force and sometimes would either open on their own or would refuse to close as though someone were holding the door. Down in the morgue, while it is empty, doors will open and close on their own, which is most unsettling when you learn that these are secure doors that require an access key. Temporary residents of the hospital have reported hearing soft, disembodied voices throughout the hospital, but they seem to be primarily focused around the cafeteria on the grounds. On the third floor, there seems to be a patient who was never released. Previously a farmer, a man was admitted at about age 75, and during his stay, he came out of his room fully dressed, and he walked to the nurse's station. He said, "Well, I've had enough. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go ahead and leave." The nurse reported that she didn't try to stop him from leaving as he must be feeling well enough to go home. I don't think this would fly today, but which honestly feels negligent, but would make this story less fun if it made sense.
But I will say, as farmers, they're usually hard-headed.
Yeah.
But when they've had enough, right. And you're not telling them otherwise.
But they would at least have to, there's paperwork that still has to happen. But anyway, shift change comes and the next nurse is making their rounds when it is reported that the old farmer had died in his room prior to his appearance and apparent departure from the hospital.
Oh.
The nurse was shocked and frightened and said that she had seen him not 30 minutes prior. There are reports that the old farmer will occasionally move things around the room he had been assigned, which will confuse the nursing staff. Eerier still, when the room is empty, the call button will be pushed several times during the night shift. With no one assigned to the room, some staff members would just write it off as equipment malfunction, but the issue would continue despite the equipment being replaced. While the old building may be seeing a new life as a behavioral health facility, the haunting stories of its past are still strong in the community of Dickinson. The Catholic Church discourages mentioning the ghost stories, which many staff and patients have experienced poltergeist activity at the hospital and simply ignored it. There may still be many stories left to tell.
Listen, so as someone that is sensitive to that kind of thing, I've always kind of wanted to be like a hospital nurse because you'd see interesting things. You're helping people, blah, blah, blah. The only reason I never actually pursued something like that is because I don't do feces and bodily fluids.
Yeah.
First time somebody asked me to wipe somebody's ass, I'm like, I quit.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to have to clean up my puke on top of that all over the patient.
Yeah. Some people are built for that and it doesn't bother them. I'm not one of those people.
However, it would be interesting to be a night shift nurse because there's stories in all of them. We're just not finding them.
Right.
There's stories in all of them. I want to know them. I want to experience it.
Right.
Tell me what room that I shouldn't go in because I'm going.
Right.
Hell yeah. Anyway, so this month, my search for these strange and unusual North Dakota laws was not easy.
Yeah.
North Dakota don't have a whole lot going on.
No.
But I found some. Charitable organizations and non-governmental groups can hold stud poker games to raise money, but only 2 events per year. So no monthly poker games. It is illegal. Get this. This one sent me. It is illegal to keep an elk in a sandbox that is located in your own backyard. But you can keep one in someone else's backyard. Is what it seems like. I'm sure not, but
Yeah.
In Fargo, a person can be jailed for wearing a hat while dancing, or even for wearing a hat to an event where dancing is taking place, whether they are the ones dancing or not.
Nice.
So take that cowboy hat off before you hit that dance floor. And again in Fargo, you must obtain a permit or license from the city's health department before killing a pigeon. I would like to know how that conversation goes down. Like, what are the requirements to obtain this permit?
Yeah.
In Waverly, horses are prohibited from sleeping inside a house or in a bathtub. Couldn't find the story behind that. I tried. It's illegal to lie down or fall asleep while wearing your shoes. The law doesn't specify whether it applies to public or private property.
Yeah, that is kind of...
Back in the day when we had, our big weekend meetups every week with our group of friends, not us, but me and TJ.
Yeah.
There was a rule that if you fell asleep, you didn't fall asleep with the shoes on. If you fell asleep with the shoes on, then people were going to mess with you. But if you took your shoes off before you went to sleep, nobody was going to mess with you.
Yeah.
Bars and restaurants may not serve beer and pretzels together. They have to be served separately. It was once illegal to trap birds in a cemetery. The specifics on this one. Like, you walk into a cemetery, you're not trapping a bird, you're going to jail if you do.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All members of North Dakota's Dry Pea and Lentil Council must be United States citizens. Fireworks may only be used between 8 a.m. and 11 p.m., but it is because it's illegal to set them off after 11. Mm-hmm. Which, you know what?
Well, it's the same thing.
I feel
here.
like that's a pretty broad.
Just nobody abides by it generally, and there's the people with, which I understand, if you have dogs that don't do well with fireworks. And
it is your job to figure out keeping them safe.
Yes. Why? And the people who let their dogs who are scared of fireworks out to go to the bathroom, no leash. What are you doing?
I mean,
and then you're posting on Facebook hoping that somebody sees your dog. It's a whole thing.
I get that things happen.
Yeah.
Like, if you may have your dog outside on a leash and it gets spooked and it somehow wrangles out of it. I mean, get that.
Stuff happens, but it's like, and then they want to be like, well, if people didn't shoot off fireworks, it's like, it's 4th of July, it's New Year's, this happens every year.
Right.
Like, I would take precautions. Like, you can go to your vet and your vet will give your dog a sedative to make them feel a little bit more calm about it. Is it going to solve the problem? No.
But it's going to make your night a lot easier.
Right.
And it's going to make it more enjoyable for them.
Right.
They're going to have a great time, mind you.
Yeah.
That dog is going to love it.
I don't get this. People who go on Facebook, like somebody that we know and went to school with does this every year. My dogs don't like fireworks and I wish they would be illegal. And they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that just for you and your dogs.
I already know.
Sorry. Yeah.
Somebody that I used to be kind of close to.
I think so, yeah. And who was a dirty little rat in high school. Anyway, I know she's not listening to this.
Get me in trouble for going to a party.
A dirty little rat. She was ratting on everybody. But yeah, yes. And I'm just like, the world doesn't revolve around you.
And your dogs. No.
Exactly. Like, I agree with like during certain hours, and like even here you're not allowed to sell them in the state of Tennessee outside of like certain windows of time for New Year's and 4th of July, because I think like they
only have like a week to sell them.
Quite literally, it's like
they just opened like this week.
Yeah. Because like when we did like our witchy photos, we had to drive out of state to get smoke bombs. like the colored little smoke bombs that we wanted to use.
There's a little store that's right outside of Goodlettsville.
Well, there's one that's like
Sad
right.
Sam's.
Yeah, that's the one we went to.
Well, there's one that's like right, which I don't know if she would have had any stock at that point, but for like, you know how we used to shoot on that Ray Day every year? That's, you know, after 4th of July. And there's like right outside of Goodlettsville, kind of. Mm-hmm. There's this little store, rundown little store right off the interstate that we would always go that day and buy them.
I'm sure that there's like, I know, because I've seen like the big fireworks stores, and I'm sure that like either there's like certain permits they have to have or something, and that's probably why there's not that many, because there's really not that many. No. But luckily we're not located too far from a state line, so, but it's quite literally like a week, and because I think they have to be like, they can't sell by like the 7th at the latest. It might even be the 6th, because like on the 5th they're packing up.
Well, and I think it's within like Nashville city limits.
Yeah, city limits.
They're not allowed. You're not supposed to shoot them at all. Yeah. They're not allowed.
City limits in Nashville, and then I know that like our city limits you're not allowed to. People do anyway.
Yeah, but so say where we go to watch, because you know Nashville has one of the biggest fireworks shows in the country at this point. Yeah. For 4th of July, where we go to watch that, you can see all over Nashville. Yeah. Just residential areas that are shooting them off everywhere.
See, I'm not big on like fireworks.
It's not like my favorite thing. I don't like being super close to them.
I feel like, I think for me, I look at it more of like, that's a waste of money.
Yeah. But I do enjoy, because we pay nothing to go watch the big Nashville show. Yeah. I do enjoy going to watch that because it is always a really good show. Yeah. Anyway, back to it. Human cloning is illegal in North Dakota. The state law prohibits specifically performing or attempting to perform human cloning.
Honestly, period.
Participating in human cloning.
Period.
Transferring or receiving the product of human cloning.
Period.
Transferring or receiving human cells, embryos, fetuses, or I don't know how to say this word. Oocytes, OOCYTES, for the purpose of cloning. And then violating these is a Class C felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000. And then here's one that shocked me. But you know what? Do it. Underground coal mines must provide employees with an adequate supply of toilet paper.
Okay. That is not where I thought that was going.
Right.
But sure.
That's about all I could find for that. But I do have some inventions in first that we will get to after you tell your next couple.
I just need you to know, you know how I said After Sun comes on tonight? They won't be streaming that in the Discord. They are, because I guess there's like unreleased footage that they're going to be showing. Oh. And I was like, I went in the chat and I was like, I'm recording, so y'all just let me know what happens. And one of the Alexes tagged me, and she said, I guess we're going to get footage of why Melanie and Kinsey were removed from the fire pit during the recoupling.
I'm sorry, I guess you're missing that.
You're good. I was like, y'all just let me know the tea. That's all I need to know. It's not like, it's like the after show, basically. That's what they air on Saturdays. And they talk to like the people who got booted and stuff. So it's all good. It's all good. All right. In Harvey, North Dakota is a small railroad town that has self-proclaimed as the gateway to the Lone Tree Wildlife Area. And at the top of their website, it says it's not just a place, it's an experience. I thought that was so cute and cheesy.
Right.
This city is filled with family-owned businesses and some unique stores, and locals come first in Harvey. And their art is displayed in different businesses across town. Harvey is also great for both locals and tourists as nature is abundant and there are lots of game and fishing opportunities. It looks like a cute little town. Like I would like to go here if it wasn't so far away. Small town charm also has history, and often that history comes with ghost stories. The city of Harvey has a low crime rate, but that doesn't mean that they haven't seen their fair share of tragedies over the years that have seemed to leave strange imprints and happenings that are unexplained. Noted as one of North Dakota's most haunted spots, the inconspicuous small public library in Harvey boasts many haunted happenings. There have been many strange occurrences reported at the library, which include flickering lights, apparitions, footsteps, items going missing, and computer glitches. One spirit that is claimed to be at the Harvey Public Library is Sophia. Sophia Eberline, I think is how you say that, Bentz, lived on the site of the library and was murdered by her husband, Jacob Bentz, with a hammer on October 2nd, 1931. Coincidentally, the library opened on the anniversary of Sophie's funeral. Sophie Eberline was born in 1889 in Russia and immigrated to the U.S. where she would marry Hugo Eberline, I think it's Eberline. I don't know. He was a well-known Harvey, I don't care what his name is, who was a well-known Harvey businessman. The couple had 2 daughters named Lillian and Alice, and after the death of her husband, Hugo, in 1928, Sophia remarried to a man named Jacob Bentz. Oh wait, never mind. I do care about Hugo. Never mind. He's not the bad husband. I'm sorry, Hugo. One night in a rampage, Bentz was full of anger and bludgeoned Sophia while she slept. He attempted to clean up the scene of the crime and made it appear as though Sophia died in a car accident.
Okay.
When Sophia's daughter Lillian came home to attend the funeral, she noticed the blood in the house and reported it to the local police. Bentz later admitted to the crime and was sentenced to life in prison, where he died in 1944 at the North Dakota State Penitentiary. After her murder, Sophia's daughters told reporters that Jacob had relentlessly pursued their mother until she felt she had no other option but to marry him. At the funeral, she was a Bentz. However, after the crime was uncovered, Sophia became an Eberline again, and she is buried with Hugo in the Sunnyside Cemetery in town. In 1990, the Harvey Library was constructed right on top of the site of the Eberline house, and according to author William Jackson, the librarian's office is built directly over where her bedroom would have been. Librarian Carolyn Fikert stated about Bentz and the murder, he wanted her money or something, so he killed her. First, he tried to burn her body in the furnace, but that didn't work. So he put her in the car, filled the car up with straw, took it outside of the city limits, and set it on fire to make it seem like she died in a fiery blaze. When questioned by Sophia's daughters about their mother's whereabouts, he stated she had gone on a trip without her shoes. Of the supposed hauntings, Carolyn stated, "There have been people here ghost hunting in the library, and I've heard many different versions of this. Supposedly the bedroom was in the corner of where the office stands now. Anyhow, the library first opened in 1990. There were some odd things that happened after the building was completed. Chairs would move, books would be shoved from the shelves. There was even supposed to have been an incident with the computer. A big S appeared on the screen in the morning in a font that didn't exist on the computer at all. Now, the house that Sophie lived in is still in town. It was never demolished, just moved from where it originally stood. No one will rent the house, buy it, nothing. Apparently, strange things happen in the home. It is the decrepit blue house near the armory. Several people have tried to live there, but they couldn't stay long due to the unusual occurrences in the house." The book, Dakota Mysteries and Oddities by William Jackson, states that the library used to have extreme issues with electricity and no known cause to the issues. He stated that lights would come on and off by themselves and would often scare patrons. People report being touched, seeing strange orbs and flashes of light, and many report a feeling of dread washing over them when they enter the library. These happenings were reported right after the library was completed and have persisted over the years. Patrons and employees still say they experience ghostly happenings, but there are also reports at the Everline House that is now located just a few blocks away. Get a little sip of water. All right. Located within the Fort Abraham Lincoln State Park in Mandan, North Dakota, the Custer House is a reconstruction of the residence that was occupied by George Armstrong Custer and his wife Elizabeth Bacon Custer from 1873 until the time of his death in the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876. This reconstruction is furnished with items that were owned by the Custer family, along with some carefully selected reproduction furniture and dishware that would reflect daily living on a Western military post in the 1870s. There are costumed guides who lead living history tours and offer insight into domestic life, military routines, and frontier society in 1875. Over the years, the Custer House has obtained a reputation for strange activity. Visitors will often describe the buildings as being calm from the outside, but when entered, there are reports of an unusual heaviness. Some say that the atmosphere will change from room to room as though there are emotions from the past lingering there. One of the more common legends surrounding the Custer House is on the sound of footsteps on the upper floors or in the hallways when no one is present. Staff and guests have described the sound as being measured steps moving across the wood planks, followed by total silence. Because this house is associated with military discipline, believers in the paranormal believe that it could be a restless officer still making his rounds. Another often repeated tale involves the presence of a woman who is dressed for the period. Witnesses will claim to catch a glimpse of the figure near windows, stair landings, or bedroom doors before she fades from sight. Many say this is the apparition of Libby Custer and imagine that she is waiting for the news that would change the rest of her life. Whether seen or simply sensed, the story remains one of the home's best-known ghost stories. There are reports of objects moving without explanation, with chairs seeming to move slightly or doors that were left closed being found open later. There are also reports of a faint scent of perfume or old tobacco that appear without a source in sight. Skeptics point to drafts, settling, etc., but yet the stories continue to circulate among visitors who say they feel something unusual at the Custer House. Some believe the house carries not just one spirit, but the emotional imprint of an era that was marked by ambition, separation, war, and tremendous grief. With that, the strange sounds and sensations are less about spirits, but more about the echoes of history through these reconstructed rooms, which is something we've talked about before. It's like the essence of. Yeah. But no matter the cause, the legends have become part of the experience of visiting the Custer House.
I just thought of something.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, these ghosts, say you've got a haunted place like this.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the ghosts are as much aware of us as we are of them. And they're, like, just going on about their everyday. Like, they're still here.
What if we're the ghosts in their timeline?
Well, no, wait. They're just, you've closed a door, you leave, you come back later, that door's open because Mary Catherine over here just went to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And she didn't close the door behind her.
Right.
And then she's like, why are you getting all bent out of shape about the fact that I left the door open? That's something funny to think about.
That is kind of funny.
Okay. So let's go into some firsts and inventions.
Mm-hmm.
So North Dakota, the biggest tourist town in the state, Medora, is named after the wife of a Frenchman who had not only a large impact on the state, but the meat industry.
Mm-hmm.
Marquis de Moraes, the man that moved north moved to North Dakota and staked quite a bit of land to start a cattle ranch. He realized while doing this that shipping the live cattle in rail cars to the East Coast stockyards for processing was quite inefficient. So his idea was to process the meat right there on his farm, then ship the prepackaged meat in train cars full of ice to wherever it needed to go. Unfortunately, the East Coast stockyard owners were not too thrilled, and they worried that it would ruin their business, so they refused to buy meat for him, ultimately causing him to give up on his ranching endeavors. But, he's the one that got it all started there. So the very start of Kodak was started by a man named David Henderson Houston. He invented the Kodak camera and sold it to the founder of the company, George Eastman. And the name came from the letters in Dakota, as well as Eastman's desire for a name that was easy to remember, unique, and would become a household name. North Dakota housed the first mosque in the United States. Oh. It was just outside of the small town of Ross. The original structure was torn down some decades ago, but there is a building that stands in its place. It's got like a little plaque thing on outside of it to explain. Oh, hold on. License plate tabs. So I had to really read into this. The tags, the stickers that you get when you renew your registration every year. So those were started in North Dakota by a DMV worker named Leonard Milo. So you know what? Fuck you. It was started as a requirement in that state only, but it spread everywhere else.
Yeah. Was his name Leonard? Was that
Leonard Milo?
Yeah. Thanks, Leonard.
Yeah. But the entire story of the tags is written out on his headstone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it a big stone?
I don't know. It didn't show.
Oh. I bet I could find it on Find a Grave.
Probably. State-run banks were started. It's the only, and honestly, at this point, from what I understand, it's the only state to have state-run banks. The Bank of North Dakota was established in 1919 to help promote industry growth in the state, from anything to the agricultural industry to other forms of commerce. North Dakota was the first state to put a law in the books about the use of police drones. A misconception is that they were the first to allow police drones with non-lethal weapons, but other states allow them too, usually because there are no laws prohibiting them. But North Carolina was just the first state to make any sort of law regarding the subject. The law also states that lethal weapons are prohibited, which make other states, or which most other states don't have a law against. So there's that. You can go on with your next one. I've got one more link after that I can share. Actually, I have two. Oh, shit.
Sage Hill was originally known as White School, which had me a little taken aback when I first read that, but there is an explanation. Was built in 1928 in the rural countryside between the communities of Animus and Martin. It was one of the first rural consolidated primary schools in North Dakota and was named for Colonel Samuel White, a native of Pierce County who led a battalion in the Spanish-American War. The school was considered to be progressive for the time and utilized a wind generator for power, offered a hot lunch program, and hot showers for both boys and girls when most homes didn't have indoor plumbing. The 10,000 square foot building consisted of 2 large classrooms, a library, 2 teacherages, which is accommodations for teachers. This was like
a teacher's lounge.
No, it was living quarters.
Oh, okay.
And the office for the traveling superintendent on the 2nd floor, and the lower level consisted of a gym, stage, kitchen, showers, and a bus driver's room. The third floor was left unfinished, and there were plans to drawn up to incorporate a high school. During its heyday, there were approximately 100 local children in attendance. The grounds consisted of 2 barns that housed the 6 horse-drawn school buses. White School functioned as a model school as professors from Minot Normal School, now called Minot State.
Minot.
Is that Minot?
Minot, North Dakota is a thing.
Okay. Minot State University is what it's called now. But they utilized the schoolhouse as a gathering place to share new teaching methods with rural teachers. The school closed in 1968 due to a decline in the rural population, and it became Sage Hill in 1996 when a husband and wife team with a dream to own a bed and breakfast came in with their dream, a shoestring budget, and no formal hotel training. The owners purchased the former renovated schoolhouse and began to transform it into a cozy bed and breakfast with a unique restaurant that is open year-round. Even though it has been remodeled, the building still has the essence of the original schoolhouse. I think that would be cool, just to like turn an old school into a home.
That's what I was going to say.
That would be so fun.
I always wanted, and TJ and I have talked about it, to buy like an old schoolhouse, like that one that's in the town just down the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's a school that's been shut down for literal years.
Oh.
Girl.
What's that? I don't know what you're talking about. Am I going to be able to read that from here?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about it.
I'll have to tell you later. Anyway,
I don't know that area very well.
There's a school building that's been, as long as I've ever known, has been...
Are you mean the one that's like right there on the corner?
So there used to be a restaurant that shut down called Sullivan's. It was here, and then the road, and then there's like a beauty shop or something. It looks like a little house.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
Okay. I thought that said something else. Does that say middle?
No.
What does that say?
Morning.
Oh, okay.
That's
what I thought it said. But then I was like...
Anyway.
So
there's... we've talked about it for years. How cool would it be to be like, set that up as a house? And then you've got, if it's a decent sized school, everybody's got their own room, plus a playroom, plus a gym to do your activities in, plus, everybody's got their own bathroom with, like, you could take a shit on a different toilet every day.
Yeah.
How cool would that be? Have a industrial huge kitchen.
It would be kind of like, have you ever seen New Girl?
No.
They, in their apartment, they have a bathroom like that, where it's like a big bathroom.
It would be super cool to live. I've always wanted to live in a schoolhouse. Just buy a big old school. And like, you can find them on auction for cheap.
All right. Okay. So the owners purchased the former renovated schoolhouse and began to transform it into a cozy bed and breakfast with a unique restaurant. It is said that you will find restless spirits at Sage Hill B&B. Guests have reported objects disappearing mysteriously and have claimed to hear disembodied moaning that echoes through the former classrooms. Paranormal legends began when the renovations began in 1996, with owners Jackie and Brad being the first to notice some unexplained phenomena.
Which will happen when you're renovating anything like that.
Even here. Like, I've had just, stuff fall off the wall. And I'm like, okay, settle down. Construction workers also reported an unsettling presence when working and reported smelling heavy cigar smoke in the corridors. There have been claims of cigar smoke scent lingering in the air, have continued despite the strict non-smoking policy, which, I mean, it was a school too, so I don't, normally it's that stuff absorbs into the walls, and I mean, they renovated, so I don't know. But there are also lights that will turn themselves on and off independently. Objects will vanish without explanation, and there are reports of cold spots. Some former guests have reported ghostly apparitions and sounds and have linked these to students who may have never left. There are also said to be some visitors who were so enchanted by the B&B that they reportedly decided to stay on permanently, which adds to the supernatural folklore of Sage Hill. I'm not going to lie, Sage Hill gives we wanted a shtick to bring guests in. But
it could just be like one of those, like, where you've left your essence type things. Like at the shop.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It could be legit. It was honestly, considering the Native American heritage that is rampant in the Dakotas, I didn't find a lot.
Yeah. I will say there were some laws that I did not include because of the negativity that you brought on with them, and it did include Native Americans.
Yeah.
So I was like,
because like in North Dakota, like I know, because like somebody I know or I knew at a point in my life that sucked a lot had a grandmother who didn't suck, and that's where she was from.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
She got kicked out of the nunnery.
I did know that.
And
I did know that.
So like I wasn't shocked about
I loved her.
The Catholic vibes that going on up there.
Yeah.
And yeah, because she was a little badass. She got kicked out of the nunnery.
Yeah.
And she like lived on like on a reservation. In I think it was I'm almost certain it was the North Dakota, not South Dakota. I'm almost certain it was North Dakota. But yeah, she told me like stories of growing up there, because she and I ended up getting to have like chats, and I loved her. I hope that, I don't know if she is still alive. I have no idea, because she was quite old and had some health issues, but cool chick.
It honestly
I loved her.
Shocked me that they were able to cohabitate the way that they were, because she seemed very, I'm not putting up with your shit.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And I'm very much so a person of, you're gonna put up with my shit whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why he jumped into
what he did. I got you.
What he did to obtain housing.
It's working for him, whatever it is.
I found a sucker. That's all I can say. Yeah. So anyway, cool ass woman.
Right.
Cool ass
really
grandma.
Was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no idea. But wherever she may be.
It wouldn't be hard to figure out, though.
No. I was having a really hard time remembering her name the other day. So I was like, I know her first name, but it just came to me what her last name is. But yeah. So anyway, that was my stories.
All right. Well, I've got some more first/inventions. The modern air conditioner. Thank you to Willis Carrier, who invented in 1902 the first modern air conditioning system while working in Buffalo, New York. However, Carrier was born and raised in Angola, New York, and received his engineering degree from Cornell University, which is also in New York. After graduation, he moved to Buffalo, where he worked for the Buffalo Forge Company. It was there that he helped develop this. Hold on. So why is this in, now that I'm reading this again, where does this come to play in North Dakota? I don't know. Anyway, thank you to that guy. In the early 1900s, people in rural areas of North Dakota often used sleds or horses to travel through the snow. However, during the 1920s and 30s, several people began experimenting with motorized vehicles that could travel over snow and ice. And one of these people was Edgar Hetton, who built the first successful snowmobile in 1955. He went on to found Polaris Industries, and that is now one of the largest manufacturers of recreational vehicles.
Nice.
Also, thanks to Earl Thompson in 1930, he invented the first automatic transmission for cars.
Thank you, brother, because 3 pedals is too many pedals for me.
In the 1800s, North Dakota was a major producer of hay, which is used to feed livestock, as we all know. Hay baling is a very long, drawn-out, hard process.
Yeah. I think modern machinery makes
well, that's what I'm getting
easier.
to. In 1899, a farmer from North Dakota named E.S. Sorensen invented the first self-feeding hay press, which automatically baled the hay into tight, uniform bales. So it, made everything a lot easier.
Yeah. I watch Cole the Corn Star, and his brother does that as a side hustle.
Cole the Corn Star?
Cole the Corn Star. I love it. He's so bless his little heart. I know way more about growing corn than I ought to. Like, did you see that post on the local, one of our local pages the other day about this lady complaining about the cornfield across from her house?
Yes, I did.
And she was like, what about the pesticides? And he was like, I sprayed a pre-emergent. I have not sprayed any other chemicals. But what I know is that he'll have to spray them. But that it's to prevent, because they'll do their pre-emergent, and then in the middle of the grow season, they have to spray again. And then they'll spray again at the end. And if they have weeds, if they don't spray them, basically, it affects their yield, and which affects their income. So, if this is such a side tangent of random information, I know. But anyway, so she's complaining, well, what about the chemicals in the air? And also on the food, and chances are it's corn being grown for fuel, because that's what Cole's family does. They grow soybeans and corn, and it's for fuel.
I may not be able to do this next link because it keeps popping something up. Mr. Bubble was invented in 1961 in North Dakota. Yeah.
Oh my god! I used to use that when I was a kid.
I got to click on it. This thing pops up. I got to click out of it and then back into it. So we're just going to do cream of wheat. I'm about to give up. Bobcat skid steer loaders. I would like to give you all the story behind these, but it's not allowing me to do so. That's all I'm going to give you off of that one. But, so there was a bunch of stuff so North Dakota, while lacking in spooky stories and crazy laws, plenty came from there.
Yeah.
So, thanks, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Nonprofit for the month. We ready for that?
Yeah.
We're going to go for the Nature Conservancy Canada. It's Canada's leading national land conservation organization. A private nonprofit organization partners with individuals, corporations, foundations, indigenous communities, and other nonprofit organizations and governments at all levels to protect their most natural treasures, the natural areas that sustain Canada's plants and wildlife. They secure properties through donation, purchase, conservation agreement, and other relinquishment of other legal interests in land, and manage them for the long term. Since 1962, NCC and its partners have helped to protect 20 million hectares coast to coast to coast. So you guys, if you feel so obliged, can donate to the link that we will provide you with. And you can find that in our nether regions. Those good old nether regions. Those are clean.
Worm your way around in there.
They're clean nether regions.
And
that's where the cleanliness is. It smells nice.
Anyway. You can follow us on
Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok.
YouTube.
I have been better about posting on TikTok lately.
I've seen.
They
don't come up on my feed though.
Are you not following?
I am.
Okay.
They just don't come up on my feed.
Anyway.
When I see them, I do repost though.
Yeah. Anyway. Send us those Dear Wanderers letters.
Dear Wanderers.
Let me give you some helpful advice.
Yeah.
Ask us for some advice on some stuff. Give us some Am I the Asshole?
Yeah.
Give us Is this dude cheating on me?
Yeah.
Is my husband gay?
Give us TV show recommendations.
Give us I like the Is my husband gay stories. I want those.
Give me some YouTube recommendations. What are you watching on YouTube?
Yeah. Right now? Yeah, because I'm stuck on the same few that I actually watch.
I'm so bloated. My stomach's over here making noise.
I've just been farting.
All right.
Wanders of Weird.
Oh, you send those to us at
wandersofweird@gmail.com. Okay, bye.